Welcome to the 2021 Abandoned Mine Reclamation Awards, a presentation of the U.S. Department of the Interior, Office of Surface Mining Reclamation and Enforcement. We will begin the award presentation with a message from one of the first Native American women to serve in Congress, where she focused on environmental justice, climate change, and family-friendly policies. She is also the first Native American to serve as a cabinet secretary. I am pleased to welcome Department of the Interior Secretary Deb Haaland.
Good afternoon, colleagues, leaders, and friends. I'm proud to welcome you all to the 2021 Abandoned Mine Land Awards presentation. I offer a huge thanks to the National Association of Abandoned Mine Land Programs and the National Association of State Land Reclamationists who partnered with the Interior Department to make today's awards possible. We're living in unprecedented times, and I'm incredibly grateful to the DOI team for continuing to fulfill our mission amidst managing the stress of a global pandemic, helping kids learn from home, and transitioning to working from home. We have continued to honor our partnerships with states and tribal nations as we navigate this tumultuous time. To all of you, your resilience and commitment have helped to ensure that our country weathered this tragedy. Thank you all for everything you do, today and every day, to keep our country moving forward. Every person in this country deserves clean air, land, and water, but we all know that abandoned mines put those essential resources at risk. It was exciting to see the work that the Office of Surface Mining and Reclamation and Enforcement does on the ground in Pennsylvania this summer. The opportunities to create jobs and do right by communities who are impacted by mines closing is a way we change the lives not just today, but for generations to come. I saw abandoned mine lands in the middle of cleanup and met with workers who dedicate their lives to that work, and then traveled to a park where a site was turned into a really cool spot where ATV enthusiasts can explore and spend fun time with their families. The Biden-Harris administration stands shoulder to shoulder with states and tribal nations in repairing the damage left by legacy coal mining. That commitment is clear in many of the early investments put forward by the president, and in the bipartisan infrastructure deal currently being debated in Congress. It includes $16 billion. Yes, that's billion with a B, to reclaim former mine land and cap abandoned wells to fund AML work to support the conservation and restoration efforts that promote the health and safety of communities across the country. Today, I'm pleased to celebrate reclamation accomplishments with you all and congratulate our Abandoned Mine Land Reclamation Award recipients. The work you all do helps our department live up to the objectives set in law and inspires us all to be creative and innovative in our work. As we continue to thoughtfully consider what transitions may look like for different communities across the country, we're guided by the work you are doing and the notion that local communities are invaluable partners. On behalf of the United States Department of the Interior and the Office of Surface Mining, Reclamation, and Enforcement, thank you all for the hard work and dedication to the restoration of the lands we all love. Thank you.
Presenting today's awards is OSM's very own Deputy Director Glenda Owens. Deputy Director Owens has a Juris Doctorate from the Howard University School of Law and currently ensures OSM activities meet the requirements established by the Office of Management and Budget and the Office of Personnel Management. Please join me in welcoming OSM's Deputy Director, Glenda Owens.
It's my distinct pleasure and honor to announce the recipients of this year's awards. We begin with the Small Project Award. A small project is considered any project that spends less than $2 million in a state that receives less than $6 million in abandoned mine land funding. Reclamation can have a large impact, even if the project isn't considered a large project. Sometimes a smaller project can be a proof of concept for future endeavors. And that is exactly what the recipient of this year's Small Project Award achieved. This winner proved that a reclamation practice that worked in a different geographic environment could be replicable. Congratulations to the North Dakota Abandoned Mine Land Division for its selection as this year's Abandoned Mine Land Small Project Award recipient.
Subsidence features within the Harris M. Bockel Wildlife Management Area posed a hazard to the public, yet the site itself posed a learning opportunity for the North Dakota AML program. The town of Noonan, North Dakota, located in the northwestern part of the state, was once home to multiple underground and surface mines. The largest of these mines, the Bockel-Noonan Lignite Surface Mine, began operating around 1930 and eventually grew to include 4 underground mines. In the 1950s, the mine initiated an environmental program to seed the existing mine hills with grasses and legumes. However, the land was not graded first, and the hazards associated with the underground mines still existed. The North Dakota AML program determined the best method of reclamation to reduce costs while repairing the subsided areas would be foamed sand, a substance used by other reclamation teams, but a first for the North Dakota team. This would also allow for research opportunities into the overall effectiveness of foamed sand in unconsolidated materials. Foam sand is a flowable fill with the potential of reducing or replacing the cementous grout mix the North Dakota AML division currently uses. It is composed of water, a foaming agent, and finely graded sand similar to the sand used in their grout. Less than 2 gallons of foaming agent replaces 100 pounds of cement and 600 pounds of fly ash for each cubic yard. Now the portals are closed and research is underway. Without the assistance of the North Dakota AML program, it is unlikely this project would have come to fruition. Minimal in size and cost, but a major achievement for North Dakota, the recipient of the 2021 Abandoned Mine Land Small Project Award.
Congratulations again to the North Dakota team. Our first regional award comes from our Western region. This regional award project is a classic example of the benefits of the Surface Mining Control and Reclamation Act's Abandoned Mine Land program. This project reclaimed an abandoned coal mine refuse pile and restored a local watershed. This award goes to the New Mexico Mining and Minerals Division team for the work done at Brilliant No. 2 in Dutchman Canyon.
Mining in Colfax County began in the 1860s and continued for nearly 100 years. The early discovery of gold in the hills near Raton drew miners from far and wide, but by 1881, coal had become the more important commodity. In 1909, Colfax County produced nearly 75% of all coal in New Mexico. Coal that was mined but couldn't be sold, also known as coal waste or gob, was dumped along the base of the hillside by a mine's entrance. Eventually, the mine closed, leaving behind nearly 200,000 cubic yards of coal waste in steep, unstable piles. The largest of these piles was adjacent to the Dillon Canyon stream and collapsing into it. This coal waste clogged the stream channel, blocked other drainages, and leached chemicals into the water supply. To make matters worse, during mining, the stream channel had been straightened to accommodate rail facilities serving the mine. This resulted in a half-mile stretch of the channel becoming deeply incised with eroding banks. Geomorphic reclamation was used to regrade areas, recontour the stream channel, and restore functional drainage to the area. A ranch road was rerouted and engineered with proper grading and culvert crossings, and erosion control measures were installed. Nearly 198,000 cubic yards of coal gob and approximately 223,000 cubic yards of clean material were moved. Then lime, gypsum, and fertilizer were applied in the appropriate rates to amend the soil. Next came seeding and mulching, followed by the planting of cottonwoods, willows, and other wetland plants. When all was said and done, 11 acres of coal gob were reclaimed, along with 75 acres of disturbance. After many years of misfortune and despair, eliminating the safety and environmental hazards in Dutchman Canyon, and returning good fortune and well-being to this local community, is why the judges chose New Mexico's project for the 2021 Abandoned Mine Land Western Region Award.
Congratulations, New Mexico. The grade school students at Wolf Branch Middle School had to wait 4 years to resume classes in their school. In 2017, subsidence from an abandoned mine displaced hundreds of students and teachers. Because of the work done as a result of an abandoned mine land grant, students and teachers will be able to return to their beloved school next year. This year's Interior Region Award goes to the Illinois Department of Natural Resources Division of Abandoned Mine Land Reclamation for the Wolf Branch Middle School project.
Wolf Branch Middle School is located in Swansea, Illinois, with a region known as St. Louis Metro East. Constructed in 2002, no one expected that just 15 years later, it'd be falling into the ground. Shortly after the beginning of the 2017-2018 school year, the Wolf Branch Middle School was severely damaged by a sag-type subsidence. The subsidence ground movements caused extensive structural damage to portions of the building. This resulted in safety as well as operational complications which forced the building to be condemned. Classes were canceled for 2 days while volunteer organizations assisted in relocating the middle school's equipment, furnishings, and supplies to the Wolf Branch Elementary School. Now that the building was vacant, work could begin. Boreholes were drilled around the outside and beneath the school to determine the extent of the danger. This was followed by grouting the underground mine voids to halt the subsidence and limit expansion of the collapsed area. Once the area was completely grouted, several portions of the building, which had become unstable and unsafe from the subsidence, were demolished. This included the gymnasium, multi-purpose room, band room, kitchen, and locker rooms. A rapid response and an effective answer to a dangerous situation is why the judges chose Illinois' project for the 2021 Abandoned Mine Land Interior Region Award.
Congratulations to the Illinois team. Your project is an example of excellence in mine reclamation that has a positive impact on the health, safety, and environment of affected communities. The Appalachian region is no stranger to abandoned mine land features. This award-winning project addressed a hazardous Priority 2 abandoned mine land problem that posed a threat to public health, safety, and the South Fork Little Conemaugh River. The Appalachian Regional Award goes to the Pennsylvania Bureau of Abandoned Mine Reclamation for its work at the Steinman Refuse Pile, Path of the Flood Trail.
And what was here before with the pile being right behind us to this majestic view that everybody can appreciate and everybody can enjoy, it just makes our efforts that much more worth it.
Covering 27 acres of land and standing nearly 50 feet tall, the Steinman Refuse Pile was not only an eyesore, but an attractive nuisance as well.
Accessible from nearby Maple Street, the pile was frequented by partygoers and off-road vehicles. Restoring the area to pre-mining conditions would be no small feat. To start, over 600,000 cubic yards of refuse needed to be removed. Robindale Energy Services Incorporated stepped in and began transporting marketable coal refuse 25 miles away to Sewer Generation, an electric cogeneration power facility. Over the course of the next 2 months, nearly 43,000 cubic yards of refuse was removed. Then came a turbine malfunction at the power facility. Sewer generation was forced to stop accepting the refuse material, and the project was put in danger of falling behind schedule. This slowed refuse removal at the project site for the next 3 months. Eventually, repairs were made at Seward, and they could once again accept refuse. Next came regrading of slopes and the trail, installation of erosion and sediment controls, the application of 126 tons of lime, add seeding with native grasses. In addition, 27 drainage culverts were installed. Then, in November 2020, a riparian forest buffer was created. Volunteers planted thousands of trees on the site. Finally, the Foundation for Pennsylvania Watersheds purchased a metal bench, trail signage, and a gate for the trail. Since then, the trail has received 10 additional memorial benches. A ribbon-cutting ceremony hosted by the Cambria County Conservation Recreation Authority capped off the project.
So it's just snowballing into molding and changing this town of South Fork for the better. And when we talk about building trails, one of the main reasons why we do that is for the wellness opportunities. And people are out here all the time, and we hear so many times about how this has really changed South Fork, and it's the best thing that has ever happened to South Fork. And now,
A great example of reclamation and restoration, and this year's recipient of the 2021 Abandoned Mine Land Appalachian Region Award.
On behalf of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and DEP's AML program, we are honored to accept OSMRE's
2021 Appalachian Region AML Reclamation Award for the Steinman Refuse Pile Path of the Flood Trail project.
We would like to acknowledge the many Pennsylvania AML program staff and partners who contributed towards the successful completion of the project.
It's now time to honor the recipient of the Abandoned Mine Land National Award, which is presented to the overall highest-rated reclamation project in recognition of its innovation of current technologies, difficulty in achieving reclamation, and benefits to the community. Please join me in congratulating the Iowa Abandoned Mine Land Program for its exemplary efforts in reclaiming the Durande Abandoned Mine Land Project. This National Award project achieved reclamation of dangerous high walls, piles and embankments, hazardous and polluted water bodies, clogged streams, and streamland, all while protecting local wildlife, particularly a bald eagle's nest with young eaglets inside. The project's dewatering system is now being used at other sites within the region.
Reclamation projects often face many challenges: dangerous high walls, polluted water bodies. But what about a global pandemic, raptors, and windstorms? In southeast Iowa, just off a winding country road, a small plot of timber disguised a very large problem: 70 acres of high walls, spoil piles, dangerous embankments, polluted water bodies, and clogged streams. From trespassing and unauthorized hunting to various animals getting stuck in the pit ponds, the site had become an attractive nuisance and major safety concern for the Durande family, who had owned the property for generations. Throw into the mix an ongoing pandemic with ever-changing safety requirements, and the Iowa AML program had its hands full. Due to the layout of the mined area, as well as the location of the features, it was determined the project should be separated into two sites, Durande and Durande West.
What makes this project unique, especially on the Durande West site, is that it's somewhat of a, I'll call a marriage between the conventional design, which is the conventional piece is behind me on this wetland bottom, and then that's kind of married to a natural regrade design, which is everything to the east of the site. So we're trying to bring two design philosophies together.
This division would allow for the use of two different construction methods under the same contract. a proverbial kill two birds with one stone approach. But then two real birds entered the picture, a pair of bald eagles. Named by an AML staff member as Victor and Victoria von Talon, the appearance of the bald eagles at the Durande West site provided another challenge regarding the timing of construction activities. From January 15th to August 1st, no construction was allowed within 660 feet of the eagle's nest during active nesting. Luckily, the eaglets fledged early, and work could commence closer to their nest. With clearing and grubbing complete at both sites, the focus moved to a series of hydrological actions at the Durande site. This included pit pond dewatering, grading to establish shallow wetlands, installing water intakes, and terracing to control flows. It was on to preparing the soil for seeding. Everything seemed to be going smoothly, but then in late summer, a derecho appeared. The massive windstorm destroyed many local crops, which put straw in short supply, straw that was needed for mulching activities. Luckily, a substitute was found in the form of a unique subgrade mulch, a combination of wood fiber, compost, and wood chips. However, to break down the wood chips, nitrogen in the form of agricultural lime needed to be applied at 0.8% of the dry wood weight per acre. This resulted in 112 truckloads of agricultural lime being applied to the soil. Eventually, permanent seeding was able to take place in December of 2020.
It's amazing. I took my grandkids out there all the time before, and now after, they're just like, wow, this is really cool. It's all different. It looks different every time we go out there.
Overcoming multiple obstacles while creating a wetland area to benefit wildlife, the Iowa AML program takes home the 2021 Abandoned Mine Land National Award.
Congratulations to all of the recipients of this year's Abandoned Mine Land Awards. Your teams demonstrated incredible commitment and dedication in achieving these reclamation projects. The accomplishments of this year's award recipients exemplify the goals of the Abandoned Mine Land program. All of today's project videos have been uploaded to the OSMRE YouTube channel. Please share these accomplishments with your colleagues, friends, and family. You can also find information on our website, and we will feature all of the award recipients throughout the year on our social media platforms. If your team is working on a reclamation project, we encourage you to nominate that project during the nomination period in the spring of 2022. Your team and its program should be recognized for its critical and beneficial work. Thank you for joining us for our presentation of the 2021 Abandoned Mine Land Reclamation Awards.